Let me get to the last point. This helping anybody? I mean, pray with confidence, knowing that God's not going to turn your way. Pray for that which is essential. Don't always make your prayers selfish. And finally, the man in the house does not get up out of friendship. Now, stay with me right through here, okay? I know your translation says persistence. I take some issue with that because there really is no persistence in this story. Ooh. Really is no persistence in this story. You know, if it was about persistence, then here's what Jesus would be saying. If you just keep beating on the door, just keep going to him, just keep wearing him down, you just wear him down until he says yes. That's not the way you approach God. I have a son. When he was a teenager, he wanted a motorcycle. And we didn't want him to have a motorcycle. And so his mama said no. But he had a plan. You know what his plan was? Every time a television commercial would come on with a motorcycle, it was, "Ooh, mama, come look." Or when we get a magazine, he'd invariably find a picture of a motorcycle in the magazine. "Oh, mama, look at this." He tried to get her to stop by the motorcycle shop. He did everything. If there was a newspaper advertisement about a motorcycle, what was his plan? What was he doing? He was trying to wear her down till finally, let me tell you the words he wanted to hear. "I don't care what you do. Just go on. You and your daddy, just go on and get the motorcycle." That's what he wanted to hear. Brethren, this does not suggest that that's the way you go to God. In fact, you see, it would be unimaginable for you to have to keep pressing him to do something. Are y'all seeing that? This says, and those of you who want to study this closer, now we don't have time tonight, but if you were to diagram that sentence, there are two things you figure out. One, the word anadia does not pertain to the man in need. Mighty quiet in here. It does not pertain to the man in need. It pertains to the man in the house. The word anadia has what's called an alpha negative. It's a word that really means the avoidance of shame. Now watch how this works. The man in the house does not get up out of friendship. He gets up to avoid shame. What kind of friend would he be? Y'all not seeing this. Watch this. See, hospitality in ancient times was legendary. If someone came by your house in the Middle East, you had to feed them. If you didn't give them something to eat, if you didn't offer them something, you embarrassed the whole village. I visited South Africa several years ago, Lonnie, and we did some door knocking. We would go. We were in a village called Attridgeville, and we were door knocking during the day, and 2 or 3 of us were preaching at night. We went by several houses, and every time we went to one of their houses, they had to offer you something. In fact, you insulted them if you did not receive what they were offering. Y'all didn't get that one. Let me give you another one. Growing up, I had an Aunt Evelyn. My time is about up. Is it all right? I had an Aunt Evelyn. Some of you may have somebody like this. My father, I told you there were 6 of us. I'll tell this story real quickly. But there were 6 of us. And all of my father's brothers and sisters lived in California, and we were in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And about every 2 years or so, he would load all of us up in the car and drive to San Francisco. My dad, we would drive straight through. Yes. Some of you that don't understand that, ask some of the older folk. We would drive straight through. And we would get to San Francisco at some unreasonable hour. We called it 4-day in the morning. Anybody know what I'm talking about? 4-day in the morning. And we would get to my Aunt Evelyn's house. Now let me tell you something. My father was a very proud man. And you didn't ask. This is back during the day when, you know, my daddy was the head of the house. No, y'all still ain't getting it. Whatever my daddy said went. And you didn't question it. This is back in the day where you didn't have to guess who the parent was and who the child was. Amen. In fact, I remember I used to go visit Big Mama, and I was the first grandchild. And Big Mama would make me we called them big cookies. They were those big tea cakes. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? And Big Mama would put them back just for me. Boy, and we'd get to Big Mama's house, and we'd go in, and Big Mama said, "Boy, you want a cookie?" Well, man, I had to look at my daddy to see if I wanted a cookie. You just didn't. You didn't just do. He would tell my mother, "You feed those kids before we leave." Anybody know what I'm talking about? And so, but I love to go to Aunt Evelyn's house, because when we got to Aunt Evelyn's house, it didn't make any difference what time of the night it was. She would get up out of her bed, and in just a little, wash her face and hands, and in just a little while, Peggy, you start smelling aromas coming out of the kitchen. You really, man, you would start hearing coffee perking. This was before Mr. Coffee. This was, the percolator. Don't act like some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and you start smelling bacon frying, sausage frying, biscuits being made. And I better stop, because some of y'all look hungry, boy. And I loved it because, see, when you went to Aunt Evelyn's house, she loved for you to eat. Plus, she was older than my daddy, so I didn't have to look at my daddy. I knew. Aunt Evelyn would say, "Boy, let that boy eat." Y'all come here. And I'm going to tell you, and the more I would eat, the more she liked it. You know how to make a good cook? No, really. You know how to make a good cook? Man, when you sit down, you take that first bite, you say, A good cook will say, "You want some more?" Amen. So I love going to Aunt Evelyn's house. And I'm going to tell you, if you didn't eat, you hurt Aunt Evelyn's feelings. And if you understand that, then you understand that in the Middle East, it was way past that. Man, you had to eat. It would be unimaginable for a person to come by the house. You better go get some bread. You go find some bread. And if you went to your neighbor, your friend, it would be unimaginable that he wouldn't give you what you needed. Y'all see that? So there's no persistence in here. Persistence doesn't even fit the context. Amen, somebody. Let me close with this. The man in the house gets up to avoid shame. What kind of God would he be? If you in need, and he wouldn't come to your need.